So today I would like to share my experience of the IBM interview question, right, for front-end developer role. So I would like to share you guys a real-time interview question. Those are asked in my interview, IBM interview. So, so before starting, I give my like a small introduction. I have total of 6 year of experience in front of developer. So I work like different MNC, uh, and also you can ask any question like regarding the front end developer, right, in comment section. And please guys, if you really like and my effort, so please subscribe my channel. That gives me like motivation guys, so I make this kind of video, right? Please, if you really like my effort, so please uh, like and subscribe my channel. And yeah, before going to the question, I share with you guys. So IBM interview inter email link. So yeah, so let's open. Yeah, you can see the guys, right, the interview assessment link, right? So this is my name, and this is so yeah, so I would like to start very first question. So the very first question is straightforward, they ask, right? So we have a total function f1 and f2 function, right? And here we initialize with a and console log with a, right? What was the output? So before I starting you guys, right, so you can guess the output, right? uh, you also appear as disease, just like that you appearing in your interview. So yeah, so and you have any doubt, right, so you can ask me in the comment section. I really happy to help you guys, right? So we have like function 1 and function 2, right? So that return 6 and return 9, say, and let a, right? So guys, whatever, just I explain you the concept, right? So you can see whatever the second function return, right, after the comma, right, that would be the output, right? So in that case, 6 comma 9, right, output is 9. I show you the compilation. Mm, then compiler, right? So run, right? So you can see the output is 9, right? So whatever the second option, let's say we have 7, right? So output is 7, right? Let's we have 4, so what output is 4, right? Whatever the after the comma, after the let, right, it will be the output, right? So that is the concept, right? After the comma, whatever the value you console out, right, that will printing that value only, right? So that's the concept, right? And so second question they ask, the scenario based question. Given a string, compose left and right parentheses, right, and balance the parentheses by inserting necessary parentheses. So determine the minimal number of insertion is required, right? This is very important question, and like frequently asked many interview, right? So I explain you and code you, right? So let's say we have one function, right? I explain you line by line. Balancing parenthesis question, right? Let's remove that all. So function minimum insertion, right? Let's say we take, yes, string, right? Let's let's define open and close, open needed, right? Let's initialize by 0. Let's close needed, right? Initialize by 0. And we need to because that is a like character type, special kind of character, right? So for that you need to run a for loop. Let car of, yes, right, whatever you give the input, right? So for the matching string, right? So we will check if car equal to, right, open parenthesis, then in that case open needed plus plus, else else we need to check, right, if open parenthesis must be greater than 0 to match the string. If yes, then open parenthesis minus minus, else close needed plus plus, right? And after that in very last return, in return function open plus close, open plus close needed, right? That's it. Let's check that function. Console dot log minimum insertion. Let's say we have this output, right? Hmm. So it's a pair that, right, in needed, like one open needed, right, for matching the loop, right? S- so that output would be one, right? Let's check, right? You can see one, right? So in that balancing, we need one, right? Similarly, if we have a console.log, if we have like this, right? So for balancing like this, right? So what was the output? Because in that we need to open bracket and to close bracket, right? In that case, we have output 4. So output would be 1 and 4. 1, remove that. Mm, yeah, something is mish. Let's we check for that. So that is correct. Actually, that is minimum insertion is required. So minimum insertion is output is always 1, right? Yeah. So let's go for the second that question. So determine the minimum number is always 1, right? So to balancing that out. So they ask, uh, so resolve and resolve data. What difference between the resolve? So resolve is basically a mechanism to fetch data before the navigation, right? And resolve data means it will actually fetch data after the resolver, right? After the resolve, it will fetch, right? So, while defining, we use resolve, and in the in the data property, we use active route, right? So, whatever purpose the free fetch data before activating the route, and in that in case provide the fetch data in the component, right? So and also it execute before the route is activated life cycle, right? So available once the resolver is complete, right? So for example, a class with resolve method, right? And in the data section, we need data access in the component active route, right? And also I give you the like link of stack blaze, right? So here you can compare with the coding. So that is a example with resolver, right? If you load data with resolver, right? So you can see it will not taking much time, right? But if you without resolver, it will taking some time, right? So that the basic difference we have. Yeah. And they ask difference between the promises and observer in Angular section, right? So what was the differences? Key differences is a single value or error, right? It will give you there is next method resolve method, right? So it will give the single value, right? Or error. but it will in over the time multiple value it will give observable, right? So it will eagerly start, right? Start immediately, but it is lazy loading, right? A lazy kind of subscriber. For chaining purpose we can use then and catch, right? So in the observable we use pipe, right? So it cannot be cancelled, right? But in the observer section it be cancelled, right, using the unsubscribe, right? So handle multiple event, right? It not suitable for that. So it will design for multiple for event. If we have like multiple event, that in that case we use observable, right? So while the error handling we use catch, right? And in that section handle a subscribe operator, right? Use case API call file read, right? So in that observer you use for streaming data, real time data update and event, right? So that is a key differences for that. And they in the fifth question they ask what difference between merge map and switch map. So in in that merge map, right, subscribe all inner observable, right? But in the switch map it subscribe only the latest inner observable, right? So I give you the example also, uh, don't worry. And in the merge map keep all previous observable active, and in the switch map cancel the previous observable when a new start, right? So in the merge map like emission all the observable, right, output emit only for the most recent observable, right? So in merge map we have parallel processing multiple API calls, right? So it will replacing outdated task type ahead, it will always take a new, right? So performance higher resource usage due to concurrency, right? And lower resource usage due to cancellation, switch map. So that is a key difference. I give you the example also for the merge map and switch map. Yeah, so I open that editor. Let's I write the code here only. Hmm. Let's say we write import. So in the RxJS observable, we take off an interval. Import and so it will part of RxJS operator, right? Merge map. So you need to know like what was the like parent library for that merge map. Let's take also from RxJS and operator of we have one, two, and three, right? Then in pipe and merge map, In merge map, we take value, interval of, let's say, take 1000 dot pipe, take 2 times, right? Fetch each other, and then after closing that, subscribe, right? In that case, output would be in the first case, right? From the inner, right? So it will in merge map, it will run simultaneously, right? Observe run simultaneously, right? So output would be first 0, 0, then 1, then 0, then 1, 1. And you can run that code also. Yeah. In the switch map, so similarly, if you use same code for the switch map, instead of merge map, use switch map. So in that case, output is 0 and 1 from the three inner interval, right? So you can run that code also in your Visual Studio Code and check, right? So, and sixth question they ask, uh, what is the dependency injection, right? That is the most important question, right? What was the DI, how we use the custom DI. So dependency injection is design pattern that used for Angular and many other framework, right? To manage dependency injection component service module, instead of creating like a dependent class manually, DI is allowed to provide those dependency from the external resources, right? Making the code more modular, testable, and maintainable. Right? Instead of creating like classes, it will predefine that will give you DI, right? So injection, right? Injector responsible for providing instant of dependency, right? What was the provider used for configure, define the dependency and create, right? What was the decorator, right? So this kind of injectable make class available to inject, right? Inject, what was used for injection token expect, and optional mark dependency as optional, right? Self skip host control injection hierarchy, right? So so this is for that, right? If you want, so I tell you the like example also. So I show you. There is a lot of example you can find in the internet. DI example on. Yeah, so you can find multiple example of dependency injection, right? So you can see the template heroes component they make, right? And after that in the provider you can see, right, who's the component in the root section, right, and inject that services into another component, right, hero services component. So that is the main use of the DI, right? So that's it, guys, right? They asked total 6 question in my interview section, right? So I explain you each question, right? If you have any doubt in that question, feel free to reach out to me, right? Thank you. Please like and subscribe channel so you get and also press the bell icon so you can get notification of next my video. Yeah, thanks.